Hello, hello, Scorpios. This is Mystic Crow Tarot. I am your psychic medium channel tarot oracle reader, Amy Burgoyne. So nice to connect with you, Scorpios. I wanted to take a moment just to let everybody know that it is so impossible for me to do a reading that's going to connect with everybody. So please make sure you check your sun, moon, and rising sign. Maybe the whole reading will connect, maybe little points of it will connect. But if you're looking to get something that's more in-depth, I do highly recommend scheduling your private group or event reading with me. And you can do that at iwanttobeempowered.com. Also, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Today, I'm going to be using a clarifier deck of the Enlightenment Pack by Chuck Spizzano and illustrated by Allison J. So let's get started, Scorpio. So Scorpio, I have this feeling that you've been working on something. And I think that something that you've been working on is yourself. So congratulations, because I feel like you are at a really phenomenal point in your life. So when we look at everything coming into like infinity using the number 8 sign, we look at things coming into an alignment where we've started off one point, we're born into this world, we're pure, we get who it is we get, and in our family members, our community, everything that really kind of tears us down and breaks us down and really makes us human. And you're coming full circle again to become whole, because I see that you have gone through your fair share of turmoil. No matter what type of turmoil it is, it's still turmoil, it's still your story. And you're coming out with a totally different view. Now, if you're a Scorpio and you're not coming out with a whole nother different view on your life, then you probably have a little ways to go. And I'm guessing that you might be baby boomer or older, because a lot of these Scorpios out there now, man, the psychic senses and the intuition, you're feeling things a lot quicker than some of the other signs, especially at this point where we're coming into your time of the year. But I feel like for a lot of you, you've done a lot of work on yourself. Now, whether that is you working on yourself as an individual, working on yourself as an individual and as a couple, working on yourself in relationship, to work, business, finances, love. But I feel like a lot of you are in a point where you've been in a situation that you've sort of wanted to be in and out of for a while. You're not really sure, and then all of a sudden you lock yourself in. Now you're committed, or the universe commits you. But the thing about this, Scorpio, is that I think that this commitment, for some of you, the ones who I think we're going to be talking to, may be a temporary commitment. Something's going to change fairly quick within a year of that commitment being final. In some of you, it's taken the past year to get to this commitment. But whatever this commitment is, somehow in the future, okay, is most likely going to be, that contract of some sort is going to come to a completion, or going to be terminated, or maybe the karmic lessons have been learned. So for some of you, I think you're on this road to this happiness in this place that you think that you finally, I'm finally here. But the thing is you've got a little longer to go. Although where you're at is very comfortable, you can stay right there, because your ability to reach a higher frequency before you leave this planet is completely up to you. There's no right and there's no wrong. But what I'm talking about is for some of you who you eat life up. You're not afraid of anything. Scorpio. I mean, Scorpios, you see the depths of the darkest places, and yet it still doesn't scare you. You are the darkness, and you're the lightness in the dark. There's not very many people that can get to that level. And unless you've lived full force, Scorpio, then you're still going to have some things to deal with at the beginning of the year. And I hope this makes sense to you, because sometimes I get channeling and I myself feel like I get a little lost, but the messages are just going to connect for those who they're supposed to connect with. So I'm going to flip my first clarifier over, and it talks about relationship, sacrifice, the number 1. So it seems to me that you may have, knowing how Scorpios are, you may have been on top of your world, and then something took place and you had to come out of your comfort zone. So for many of you Scorpios, your comfort zone is a high frequency, high functioning, passionate, intuitive, deep place. And a lot of you have been taken out of that into something a little more common, maybe less exciting. That was in air quotes, by the way, less exciting. So in that aspect, there's been a lot of sacrifice. You've sacrificed your primal drive to learn more about yourself. And some people would say that would kind of be like a martyr thing, but that is a cool thing. You've brought yourself out of your uncomfort zone, and some of you are still aren't sure about this commitment that you're getting into. But you've done the work. You know, it's all on a scale, because everything is at a different level. But you've done your work, Scorpio. Some of you are getting ready to do your work. We're all at different places, you know? But you've made the sacrifice. You've sacrificed this desire for what is right. In Scorpio, there's nothing wrong with our desires. I'm Scorpio. But isn't it amazing how much we can allow other people to suppress them if we're really trying to make a difference with who we are and work on ourselves? In the end, it's all worth it. But for Scorpio, that can be a painful process. But we're transmutive. So the Scorpio will take that painful process and turn it into gold. So this is what's happening right now for Scorpio. And I say this based on this being the time of month, your time of month, the October type of month, October, November. So this is for September. So again, I don't know why I keep going back to saying everybody's going to be at different places, but so I think expect this from now until the end of October. Some of you still aren't sure about what you're doing, but it's okay, because the universe has your back. There's a bigger plan. Okay, so I'm going to flip the other clarifier over there. Now, in this bigger plan, I'm seeing here that a lot of you Scorpios have been ready to leave this world. Maybe feeling like you don't belong here. And I'm sorry for that. Scorpio, you are comfortable in being in a dark place. But I think once you can feel that dark place, it's easy to step over the line and become one with that dark place. I feel like for some of you, you've avoided death many times. Literally avoided death many times. I feel like for some of you, suicide may have been something that had been on your mind, or maybe this could also be part of you, Scorpios, who have dealt with suicide, whether it be a family member, a friend, etc. But we're part of the life and death. That is our sign. And for some of you, with being able to connect with that person, the suicidal person, could also be bringing out some of your psychic and mediumship abilities. So we're kind of branching off on some of this. So, and some of you are just so deep that I feel like joy is so far away. And if you're there, I highly, highly, highly suggest getting some counseling, assistance, shamanic assistance, past life regression, balancing of the shield, something that is going to dig in and take care of this and give you a lot of clarity, because some of this stuff is past life. Scorpio, you are deep. You are deep. There is no doubt about that. And I recently was just listening to something too where it's funny because you can get to that place of such despair, and within a few seconds you'll be stinging somebody, and it switched just like that. You're water. So you're okay with the different depths. Though it's not always comfortable, you're okay with it. So I also feel like some of you may feel like you've been backed in a corner. So if you're not backed in a corner, or if you're not getting ready to make this commitment, actually some of you may be feeling like you had to make this commitment because you were backed in a corner. Because as tough and as raw and as straight to the point as Scorpio can be, we are suckers for heartfelt stuff. Especially when it comes to kids. We may not always look like we're totally in tune with kids or other people's kids, but I think that if there's this innocence, because Scorpios, we tend to lose our innocence, and I don't mean sexually. I mean innocence because we're so aware of things. So I think that that's actually a point for us. It's a trigger, so that when somebody is, a Scorpio isn't, unless you're wackadoo Scorpio, and you've got some serious issues like perpetrator issues or something like that, like you would always be the one to stand up for a child. Because our inner child is so important to us. Because a lot of us have lost our inner child before we even realize that we had an inner child. And maybe some of you are realizing that you have an inner child right now. And that's okay. That's a seed, right? We're planting a seed. So there's so many different aspects to Scorpio right now. And if you're in the part, I just feel like meditating, soul searching. Meditate on what makes you happy. Your secret is going to be revealed. You're not doing anything wrong, Scorpio. Again, this is like a whole nother aspect of Scorpio. So I feel like I'm actually reading for many different Scorpios here. But the secret's going to be revealed about something. And it's going to make somebody really uncomfortable. But that doesn't always necessarily mean you're wrong. But it means that there is a lesson for everybody, and everybody has something to learn from everybody else. So you're a catalyst to making somebody else a better person, so that maybe a next relationship or their next lifetime will be better than that. We're all a catalyst. It's that free will thing. So Scorpio, I feel like there's a lot of excitement that's happening right now, because some of you have like no choice but to get geared up for this. And some of you are just like in excitement mode because you have to be in that. Like you have no other choice but to be in that and take care of the situation at hand. So because you guys are so strong in that aspect of taking care of business, I feel like there's like this floaty type of energy with you guys until the beginning of the year. So I would recommend doing things that are going to ground you so that when this commitment is made or not made, however you want to put it, that you know exactly the next step that you need and that your energy is balanced. Especially with the Scorpio Libra cusp. We want to make sure that that's balanced. So I would just definitely make sure that you're getting outside, that you're exercising, doing something to balance that energy. They're saying is going to be very, very, very important. And also, quartz crystal. Quartz crystal is going to work really well for you throughout the end of the year. I would highly recommend on picking yourself up one of those or a few of those. So Scorpio, I hope that this reading has assisted you in some sort of way. And if it did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for a more detailed reading, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, please visit me at iwanttobeempowered.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me today, Scorpios. And I'm sending you lots of love and super good energy and mojo. And as always, you guys got this. Bye-bye.